Welcome, everybody. My name's Eric Blagan, and this is our latest community forum. We do these every 2 weeks. I'm the executive director of the Mustard Seed Project of Key Peninsula, and our mission is basically to serve seniors. And we do that with a whole variety of programs, transportation, information referral, yard care, classes here at the Crandall Center, yoga and sail classes, and lots of other things too. So, and we're also building assisted living and memory care homes right across the street from our Crandall Center office. It's pretty exciting to see the building actually there. We'll probably be opening about December and start moving people in. So very excited about that. So today, we have Elissa Larson with us from Safe Street, and I'm just going to read the mission of Safe Streets, which is really a great one. Safe Streets is a grassroots organization that unites and inspires neighbors, youth, and businesses to build safe, healthy, and thriving communities. And we also have Ann Nesbit with us too. She's the community outreach a person at the fire department. I don't think I've got your title right, Ann, but I know you do all the education and classes and things. Do you want to say what you do real quick?
I'll answer to anything, Eric. My official title is Prevention Specialist and PIO, and PIO stands for Public Information Officer, but basically I do the community outreach and public education, and that's not only in the schools, but our community, and just kind of a resource person for, I describe it when I talk to kids, I'm like a fire teacher. So yes. Education is the answer to everything, right? So yes. Yeah.
And I would just say, Ann did a training for our staff here at the Mustard Seed a couple of years ago, first aid, and it was the best first aid class I've ever had. So you do that really well.
Thank you.
And Ann also serves on our board, which we're grateful for, the Mustard Seed Project. So Elissa is the community mobilization specialist for the Key Peninsula Safe Streets, and she's gonna, along with Ann, be talking about safety tips for seniors in our community. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Eric. And I'd like to just say thank you also to the Mustard Seed for providing this opportunity for us to share these important tips with our senior community. And what I'd like to do today is share 17 safety tips, and hopefully it will help prevent you from becoming connected with a scammer at all. So first, I wanted to introduce you to our special guest speaker, Ann, and I have her title as the Prevention Specialist, PIO, at the Key Peninsula Fire Department. And she is, if she don't mind, start us off with some safety tips that you can give for avoiding fires, or go ahead, take it away, Ann.
Okay. We just wanted to reinforce safety tips around your home, not only as we go into wildfire season, but just as we navigate within our rooms. Things you can do outside to help with slips and trips is keep your area well lighted. That is not only safer for you, but also it's a great deterrent for anybody that may think that it's a dark, easy place to approach if you're alone. So outside, scene lighting is great. Be mindful of roots, rocks, loose porch steps. If you have steps that can freeze when it gets cold or get slippery when it's rainy, there's strips that you can put down that will help with stepping so you don't slip on slick boards or on moss. If you're really struggling and can't do this yourself, contact me. I can help you with resources too. We want to keep everyone in our community safe, and sometimes things are just a little bit much for people to handle themselves. But we're a team here, and we have to work together in order to make sure everyone's safe at home. Inside, be mindful of rugs, furniture. One thing that you could do to just kind of safeguard your home is anchor big bureaus or bookcases to the wall so they don't fall in case of an earthquake, or if you're grabbing onto them for purchase when standing, you want to make sure that they're anchored, because pulling that over on you can be really bad. Another thing is contraindications for medications. Make sure, and it's, all our doctors are doing the best that they can too. Make sure that if you're taking medications that they work well together. Sometimes one doc doesn't talk to the other doc, and we really are entering an age where you need to be your own advocate. And if that's difficult for you, bring a buddy and let them help you with that journey. Go get your eyes checked. And I'll say one more thing, and then I'll turn it over to Lisa, and then Gina, I can kind of tag team, because I know that her 17 safety tips will have some discussion points too. But mental health is a safety issue too. Make sure that you are navigating our world well. And we need to just create a society where we accept that not only do we have to be mindful and take care of our physical health, but we have to be mindful and take care of our mental health too. And for some, that's just a time during the day that you carve out to do maybe some meditating, or you read a book, or you reflect. But make time for yourself so you can recharge, so you can deal with all the stuff that's happening every day around us, not only in our community, but in the world. There's some stressful things, and we need to make sure that we have the strength to navigate those events well and be whole at the end of it. So how's that for just kind of a global introduction? And then I'm happy to answer questions or expand on things as Lisa continues.
Thank you, Anne. Trying to get things turned back on here. There we go. That was great information. So I am going to share a presentation here, and I think I'm on the wrong safety tip to start. So I'm still working on it until about quarter till. So anyway, can you see my screen okay? If somebody could just click.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so preparation and being aware of your surroundings is so important, and knowing what to do in a situation that somebody might be giving danger or something like that. And there's some safety tips that I'd like to share that maybe will help keep you out of that situation. So did it change to the next slide? If you could just please let me know.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Well, safety tip number one is knowing your neighbors is always so important. Knowing who's around you, knowing, at least having a general idea of their name, that's really, really, really important. So, and Anne already mentioned lighting, and it's important to keep your pathways lit and keep your install motion lights. That's really important. We do a SEPTED training at Safe Streets. That SEPTED stands for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. And we will come out and actually assess your property to look for those type of things, like bushes that are too tall, like hiding places. We try to avoid providing those hiding places for people a criminal to come in and do bad things. So always carry a flashlight when it's dark outside. It's really, really important. So if you're wearing headphones when you're taking a walk, it's really smart to still just keep your eyes open, always be aware of your surroundings. It's the most important thing. So you can prevent somebody from doing harm to you. So not only does it keep you from hearing what your what's around you, but sometimes I like to jam with the music and start, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on. So I would recommend that just always keep your eyes open. So, and number 4, always trust your gut. You know, that gut feeling you get when something's just not right, it just doesn't feel right. Always trust that, because it's really, in my case and everybody's case that I know, that gut feeling is usually right. So just listen to your gut. And if somebody that's around that makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, get away from them. This is safety tip number 5. If anybody ever tries to hinder your movement, just start screaming as loud as you can, help, or call 911. Those are some tactics you can use to get out of that situation usually. And safety tip number 6, when you are taking a walk, try not to ever walk by yourself. Bring your dog with you, walk with a friend. It'll keep you from, most criminals aren't going to attack 2 people, I don't think. So, and then safety tip number 7, always look around, always know your surroundings. And walking with confidence and your head up is really, really important. Make eye contact with people that you're walking by, and always smile at strangers, smile at everybody. I mean, COVID kind of put us in this isolation thing that I'm so over it. So smiling it won't hurt anybody. So, safety tip number 8 and 8.5. When you're paying for items at the store, don't display that you have a bunch of cash in your wallet or anything. Just be discreet when you need to use the ATM to take money out. Just, of course, it's common sense. And if you have expensive jewelry, I wouldn't suggest wearing it out and about to the grocery store. I would just keep it at home locked up. So, and safety tip number 9, if you think that somebody's following you, you can always switch directions, move across the street. You can always go into an open business, and always shout for help if you need help. Safety tip number 11. It's supposed to be 10, sorry, 10. And this again, make your voice heard if you're uncomfortable with a person, or somebody tries to approach you, or take your car when you're leaving the grocery store or something like that. I've been hearing a lot about that on Facebook and different places on the news. Nobody wants to have their car taken from them. So, but number 1 is just keep yourself safe. So, more car safety is always keep your doors locked, whether you're inside it or not. Once you get in the car, it's really smart to well, first of all, look in the back seat, looking in the back seat, making sure there's nobody already in your vehicle, getting in your vehicle, and then locking the doors. And then when you're not in your vehicle, engaging your alarm system, if you have one, will help. I can't say it will help all the time, but it will help deter a criminal from taking your car. And if you're in your car, and if you're feeling threatened, if you're feeling threatened by somebody that wants to take it, just drive away. You don't have to apologize or anything. You just drive away. And safety tip number 12. Before getting in your car, always have your keys in your hand and ready to go, ready to unlock your door, ready to put your key in your ignition. It just makes things safer for yourself. And those that are fumbling in their purse looking for their keys, it just gives that extra time for that criminal to strike, and we don't want that to happen. So, Number 13, we're almost through this. Um, so thieves will look inside your car windows. And so if you have valuables that you're keeping in your car, it's not recommended, but if you do have valuables, lock them up in the trunk or lock them in your glove box. And to safety tip number 14. This is about your home, to keep, it seems like if your area looks really junky and there's garbage everywhere, that kind of atmosphere environment attracts thieves and criminals for whatever reason. He might think that he or she are, in an area that people really don't care about their things, so they will enter those areas, and we don't want them hanging around. So keeping litter cleaned up around your area is really, really important. And if you have areas in your neighborhood that have junk cars and things, reporting it to code enforcement is really important. They will eventually come out, check it out, and take care of it one way or another. So, and they don't, at code enforcement, they do not respond. They only respond. They don't just go out looking for people with junky property. So they only respond to somebody that makes a referral to them. So, okay, number 16, I had to try to do again, but if you ever are in the victim of an attack or attempted attack, just make sure you call 911 as soon as you are able to. Somebody's got the phone ringing here. Oops. Oh, there it is. Okay, call and report your incidents to non-emergency or to the emergency when necessary. Know when to report to which number. So if it's an emergency, if somebody's right there doing something, call 911. Get that help out there immediately. If it's something that you show up at your home and you see that somebody has entered your home while you weren't home, that's more like a non-emergency phone call. So the new non-emergency phone number is 253-272-4455. And there's also an online reporting system through South Sound 911. And I didn't put their website up here, but anyway. So that concludes this part of the presentation, and that there are some tips you can use to keep yourself safer. I hope that some of this was valuable to you. And the next part of it, I don't know, does anybody want to weigh in at this point? I
have a couple of things to add. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Maureen.
Oh, I was just going to say that when I moved to New York City quite a while ago now, our employer, the laboratory where I worked, brought in a policewoman to give us some safety tips, and a lot of them were quite similar to what Elissa just listed there. And she said that one of the most important things was when you are out walking by yourself to look as though you own the world and just be totally confident, head up, shoulders back, and don't give anybody the idea that you're at all lacking in confidence. And then the other thing that I have also heard is to, when you are opening your car door automatically, don't do it from across the parking lot, because it gives people a chance to spot which is your car. Wait until you're fairly close and then get in. So I appreciate those tips, and they definitely jive with what I've heard before. Thank you.
I was just going to add too, I don't want people to think I'm a violent person, but we saw a video earlier this week of a car thief and them injuring two officers who are trying to apprehend them. And actually they did a great move, which I logged in as, ooh, remember that. If you're in your car and let's say your driver door's open, if you put it in to reverse and back up, the car door is going to sweep them and they will not be able to make entry, get you or anything. And it's a jam back. Just some of those things are, you don't need to be physically strong. It's just quick thinking, right? And when we practice at the fire department and train, it's having that plan in your head. So when you reach that crisis point, you're like, oh, they just talked about that. I know what I can do here, right? Another thing that a suggestion is, you know, if someone were to come at you or you're getting attacked, don't just yell help. Yell, not call 911, because people, sadly, if you yell help, help, sometimes people are like, I don't want to get involved. So they'll look the other way, they won't engage, but everybody can call 911 and then shout out things. 6 foot, blue eyes, blonde hair. Do that description. That's also a huge deterrent for the bad guy, because there you are, you're calling out to everybody what they look like. And again, if you're up close, they're up close, turn into a wildcat. I mean, everything, bite, scratch, kick. Do not go. Do not get pulled into a car. Like, use everything. Don't get stuck. I mean, just turn into the Tasmanian devil. Because if it's hard, they're going to go with somebody that's an easier grab. Another thing, and I just saw this too, which I thought was great, and it's Zoom, so I'm going to try and act it out. But this was for a little kid grab, because as a parent, I was always just really conscious of big crowds, things like that. And for small people, it's very easy for someone to kind of grab them and put them over their shoulder, right? Because then they can carry them. And our reaction is to kind of kick and scream, and you beat on the back, right? The instruction was, as you're getting scooped up, you basically circle their head with your hand. So you're getting them in a headlock. And then you just hang on for dear life. They're going to put you down because it's an airway thing. So no matter what size, if it was a big dude and they scoop you up, your reaction is to kind of struggle that way. We'll get tactical, circle around, get them in a headlock, and squeeze. And again, Eric's laughing at me because I'm not a violent person, but these are things just to kind of log away in your brain, because the what if factor in life is upon us. So let's just have some tools that we can go to so tomorrow isn't scary. Does that make sense? And coach your loved ones in these areas too. It's just great advice to pass on to those neighbors, friends, family members as well, because we all have to kind of watch out after each other. That's it.
No, I wasn't laughing at you, Anne. I was just thinking that is a really, thinking about it, that kind of situation before it happens, and then getting tactical. That's really, really excellent advice.
Well, and another tactical thing again is noses are super sensitive. I mean, we've all probably been bumped in the nose. And if you're up close and you're that wildcat, like, break their nose. Who cares? Like, you getting away is your priority. And that smash can sometimes just give you the edge to get away. And, again, just make noise, be a ruckus, and be a problem, and they'll let you go, hopefully. So, yeah.
Thank you, Anne. Maureen, thank you. Great information. Now, Matt, I gotta remember his name, Santelli from Pierce County Aging and Disability Resource Center has sent this PowerPoint presentation that he would just like me to share on his behalf. And hopefully if we do this again, he would be involved next time. So he said that just to remember that it's important things to remember about becoming a victim of a scam or fraud or identity theft, and that all of us, anybody can become a victim of that. And that ages 50 plus are the ones that see it a lot, but that 25 and under see it more so. So I don't know if it's people taking their kids' identification, and I don't know what exactly all that means, but 25 and age are the largest group of all fraud victims overall. So anyone can fall victim. People that are more isolated are more at risk at becoming a victim. And scam victims are more likely to be targeted for future scams as well. So once you get scammed one time, easy target, I guess. So this is all from Pierce County, just sharing. Scammers may have become part of a daily life of the victim. So it may be somebody you know. And theft of your personal information by deception, such as names, dates, birth date, social security numbers, and bank account numbers, can allow crooks to steal your identity. I think we pretty much all know that. So just keep that stuff in a safe deposit box or somewhere where people can't just easily access it. So breaches and hacking of your online usernames and passwords, your security verifications, they can allow crooks to access your stored online banking accounts and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you keep that secret from other people knowing what it is. So learn how to protect your personal information. So sometimes the crooks will perpetrate scams and fraud to exploit current events. And the COVID-19 outbreak is a great example of that. They do this by selling the phony COVID-19 tests and treatments and all of that was going on as the health department was trying to do things right. These jerks were out there doing, fraud just to make money on people. Excuse me. Unfortunately, the seniors are easy targets, and the disabled are also easy targets because of their opportunity, their availability, and their response. So you might get a phone call from somebody that says they're from the police agency and, send money now. Don't do it. There's never going to be a law enforcement officer or anybody involved like that that's going to call you looking for money. So the opportunity, back to the opportunity available in response. Opportunity, crooks know that seniors and disabled have reliable resources of income and social security payments and things like that, pensions and IRS refunds. These payments could give the crooks financial opportunity to commit scams and fraud. So they don't care if your income or savings are up there in the 100,000s or if it's down in the 10,000s. They don't matter. The crooks are gonna try to get your money. So availability, crooks know that seniors and the disabled are following the COVID-19 guidelines to stay at home. We're not in that anymore, though. I don't know why he sent this, but so most people were at home during COVID-19, and it makes them available to become a victim of a scam. So that's what they look for. And then also the response. Crooks know that seniors and the disabled are typically courteous and polite, and they're not just going to hang up on you or anything like that. And they're most likely going to make contact with you. So just be aware of those things. How they might approach you to become their victim is through the mail or by telephone or at your front door or in public places or over the internet on your computer, through email, social media sites, anything like that. The more often that we don't engage them and don't respond to them, the more likely we are to remain safe. So And it's okay to speak rudely to a crook. You don't have to apologize again. You don't have to apologize to them or anything like that. It's just really important that to get those people away. So.
Another just kind of piggyback for some of that is, I think that we are all susceptible to fraud. And it's not going to be via phone call or an email. Like the IRS is going to send you a letter. So if you get a phone call or you get an email and you suspect that, oh, is this legit or not? Ask them to send you the material in writing, snail mail. I've also done, because I'm going to make just like this horrible vision of myself, but sometimes I like to engage with these people and I will ask to speak to their manager, and that makes them angry. So they break their role, and then your question is answered that they're not legit, but asking for whatever information they have in writing. And, because they always say, oh, we have your information. Well, then can you send it to me? That is a great way to kind of help verify the legit things. But just remember that most of the things, IRS, your extended warranty, that's like a big joke, but all those things are going to send you something. They're not going to send you an email, because the emails are good. Gosh, they have their logos. They look official, and they really can be easily taken as legitimate, but they're not. And it's something that I'm constantly coaching my parents on to, like, just delete it or ask for it via snail mail. So just another tip that you can pass on to people.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, that's great. Anybody that's calling your phone or texting your phone to say that they're a vaccine center or a medical office or insurance company or government office, and they call asking for your personal information, just don't believe them. Verify that eligibility first, because they don't deserve to know if they're going to use it for something bad. So offers to have doses of vaccines that are free, shipped to your home, are scams. Don't listen to them. Ads offering early access to the vaccine for a fee, anything like that, this is obviously dated. I should have looked at it closer, but those kind of things, don't pay attention to it. So just so everybody knows that by government mandate, all public and private health insurance plans must offer the COVID-19 vaccine with no out-of-pocket fees from the recipient. Uninsured individuals will also be offered it. I'm so over COVID-19. I just wish I would have looked at this closer. I would have taken that part out. So, okay. So I think that concludes this presentation for this part of the presentation. And again, I'd like to thank Matt Santelli for sending that for us so we could share it for him. So, and I think that just about does it for us.
Do we have questions from the Facebook?
Oh, please.
Any
Questions
that have come in?
I don't see any questions on our Facebook, but I had a quick question for you. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about what Safe Street does, your programs, if someone wanted to get involved, how they would do that?
Yeah, well, we inspire individuals and businesses and youth to build healthy, clean, safe, healthy, thriving neighborhoods. So we basically, I have been helping Chuck West build a group, and also out at Palmer Lake. And those are my two focuses right now, because they contacted Safe Streets for help because they want to prevent a lot of what's going on Facebook. So right now they don't have problems. Palmer Lake kind of does, but Chuck's doesn't. So it all depends. We just work with the group leader, whoever that might be, to help them figure out what it is in their neighborhood that will work and bring resources to them. Oh, this is for Ann, sorry. Bring resources and share resources to help them create a cleaner and safer environment for their neighborhood. We also provide supplies in our Waste Wizards program, the supplies for litter cleanups and things like that. There's really not a lot we can't do. So it just depends on its individual circumstance. So, but neighborhood building is basically what we do. So at least my role.
Sounds like a great program.
It is. Thank you.
And if someone wanted to get involved volunteering, what's the best way to do that?
Through our website, safestreets.org.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. We had a visitor at one of our group meetings for Palmer Lake, and he was Deputy Betts, and he shared with, it was really neat to see his perspective on what's going on with the crime and stuff. So you never know when he might show up or one of his brothers would show up there at a meeting. So it's really pretty neat. Thank you.
Elissa, are you partnering with other government agencies besides the police departments?
Well, yeah, Pierce County, of course, and government agencies.
Well, I was thinking of county and state agencies that could help with funding, with information, with other resources to help people in their quest to clean up their neighborhoods.
Yes, we have all kinds of support and partnerships from different organizations and different nonprofits that are trying to help improve the area and the environment overall. So yes.
Yeah, you have an impressive partner page on your website. That's a lot of really impressive organizations supporting your work.
Yes, it's wonderful. So Pierce County is I guess the one of the main partners, but we work with several other organizations to bring change or help bring change. Yes.
Well, if there are any other questions from anyone then I just want to thank you both, Elissa and Ann, for joining us today. And we'll probably want to have you back at some point. I think this is good to have presentations like this periodically so people keep it in mind. So would love to have you back.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us. And upcoming next, actually, our upcoming community forums, Maureen gave me a piece of paper here, if I can find it. On May 19th, we have Substance Abuse, Hope, and Recovery, which and our presenters will be Ann Woodard and Sebastian Keen Rudolph. And then on June 9th, the Great Bend Center for Music with Matthew Melendez. So those are the two that are coming up. So thank you again for joining us. And thank you all who have been watching for joining us too. And have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.